Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the Beginner's Guitar course. We're going to start off by talking about the different types of guitars that are out there on the market for you to buy and practice with. The first guitar we're going to talk about is an acoustic guitar. So there's three main types of guitars: acoustic, electric, and then classical guitars. Acoustic guitars are more for people who like folk, singer-songwriter, kind of bluegrass type music. Also, if you're into playing like acoustic Clapton, you might want to get an acoustic guitar. You don't need an amp for an acoustic guitar. They're very loud without an amp. Now, in choosing an acoustic guitar, the thing is, it's better to go with a more expensive guitar. Now, am I saying you have to spend $1,000? Absolutely not. But on acoustics, if you buy a $100 acoustic, they're not made with real wood. And it actually makes it really harder for you to play than if you bought a more expensive acoustic. So if you can afford to spend within like the $200 to $300 range for an acoustic guitar, I highly recommend it. It's just going to make playing a lot easier for you. It's going to be a better quality guitar. And then for acoustics, obviously you've got this wider body. So this one's actually kind of a mid-range in terms of body size. You can get ones that are like jumbo guitars that are much wider, or even ones that are skinnier than this. Just the bigger the body of the guitar, the more boomy and fuller of a sound you're going to get. But also, just sit down with the guitars and make sure that it's comfortable for you to hold and that you're not, up here, or you feel like you're going like this with your guitar. So for some women or people with smaller stature, a skinnier guitar might be more comfortable for you. And we'll talk about how to hold your guitar in another video. So I'm going to put my acoustic down for right now. We're going to talk about an electric. So I'll pull up my electric, and you can see on my electric it's much thinner. Now this is an Ibanez model guitar, which is thinner than some other electric guitars, but most electric guitars aren't much thicker than this. So you can see it's really thin. Also, the neck of an electric guitar is a little thinner, a little easier to play. The other good thing about electrics is you can spend $100 on an electric guitar and get a pretty decent guitar and still be easy to play. So if you're on a budget, you might want to go for an electric guitar and just get the guitar set up at the dealer where you purchased your guitar. And if they don't do guitar setups, just find a local guitar shop and they can do it for you. But electrics they're much easier to play. The strings are of a lighter gauge, so it's not as tough on your fingers as an acoustic guitar. You'll also get a lot more notes up here at the top. Now you saw in my acoustic, there was a little cutaway, kind of like this. Some acoustics come with that cutaway. There are some that don't. So again, if you want to use the notes up here, which you're not going to be using so much as a beginner, but down the road, you really might want to use these extra notes up here. Other than that, for an electric, pretty basic. You can hear, so you don't need to buy an amp right away, but obviously not as loud as my acoustic was. So you might want to look into getting a smaller amp to go along with your electric guitar so that when you're practicing at home, you can hear it clearly. And then I don't own a classical guitar, but a classical guitar looks much like an acoustic guitar, except it has nylon strings as opposed to steel strings. Also, on a classical guitar, the neck of the guitar is much wider than on an electric or an acoustic guitar. So it really is a big reach around that neck to play. Also, the strings are going to be spread out a little more. And if you're into flamenco style guitar, you might want to buy a classical guitar. But if you're into kind of top 40 pop rock, I would either go with a regular acoustic or an electric. Now, if you want to rock out to Jimi Hendrix or do some, cool rockin' solos and, distortion and all that, you definitely want an electric guitar. So buy the guitar that fits the style of music you want, and also you might want to buy one based on your affordability and price range, but get something that suits you. The other thing that's great about electrics is they have lots of cool colors and patterns, so you can really find something that reflects your personality and your likes. So that's it for the types of guitars you can that you can buy. We'll talk more about how to hold your guitar and the other accessories and anatomy of the guitar later in the course.